Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going beyond just being polite. We're looking much deeper
Okay.
into the real power of kindness, like thinking about it as, I don't know, an actual transfer of positive energy.
Okay. So more than just manners. It's like it affects the flow of things.
Exactly, that's it, like a harmonious flow in our lives and the world.
That's an interesting way to frame it. Suggests even, small things can tip the balance.
Precisely. And for this deep dive, we're digging into the effects, the really profound effects of one single act of kindness.
Okay.
And it all comes from a story you, our listener, shared with us. It's about your memories, right, from childhood.
A specific connection, yeah,
Yep.
with someone named Joyce Caldwell and her family.
That's the one, a really personal experience.
And those are often the best places to find the bigger truths, aren't they, in those specific moments?
Couldn't agree more. So our mission today really is to unpack this act of generosity from Joyce and her family, which seems simple on the
That
surface.
probably wasn't.
Right. And to understand its true power, its reach, those ripple effects. So Joyce, let's start there. What was your main impression of her back then?
Well, you described her as this really consistent source of kindness. That was in fifth grade, right?
Yeah.
And what strikes me there is the word consistent. It wasn't just a one-time big thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was this, like, steady, quiet glow, a reliable presence. It makes you think, doesn't it, how those small, regular acts really add up.
They really do. And Joyce's kindness, this quiet kindness, it was linked to something pretty special, especially if you were a young surfer back then.
Ah, right, her father. He
Yeah.
worked for the Mako Corporation.
Yep. And that meant he had access to the Hollister Ranch, or as you called it, the ranch.
Which you said was flat out the best surfing spot in California. That's quite a claim.
It is. Anyone who knows surfing in California knows that place is legendary.
It definitely had that mystique, private waves, almost mythical,
Mm-hmm.
especially for kids. Access was everything, and it was, like, non-existent for most people.
Totally. You even mentioned needing a boat sometimes just to get near it. Shows how exclusive it was. But here's the amazing part. Joyce just seemingly out of the blue, pure kindness.
She asked her dad.
She asked her dad if you and your twin brother, you were, what, 16, could go surf there.
Wow. Just like that. No quid pro quo.
Nothing.
Yeah.
No expectation of getting anything back. Just wanting to share something amazing. I mean, what does that tell you
Yeah.
about her?
It says so much, doesn't it? About her character, probably the values in her family, too.
Yeah.
To offer up something that valuable, that sought after.
Just a couple of teenagers.
Exactly, with no obvious gain for herself. That's real generosity of spirit.
And it wasn't just Joyce asking. You remember meeting her dad, right? Your first thought was, wow, what a kind man.
So it wasn't just her. It ran in the family.
It seems like it. You said you saw it in her brother, Scott, too. This feeling of being included, genuinely trusted, welcomed.
Mm.
Why do you think feeling like part of the family, even for a bit, made such a difference, made the surfing gift even bigger?
Well, that feeling of inclusion, it's huge.
Yeah.
Kindness, really, it's about seeing that shared humanity, right? Bridging gaps.
Yeah.
So by making you feel like family, they weren't just giving you keys to a surf spot. They were offering belonging, which is powerful stuff.
Think about the flip side, though.
Huh.
They could easily have said no. I mean, you were kids.
Teenagers, yeah, on private land. Lots of reasons to say no. Risk, liability.
Exactly. But they didn't. They chose generosity. They chose trust. Why do you reckon they did that?
Maybe just paying it forward. Or maybe they just knew how much joy it would bring you both,
Yeah.
Shows they prioritized, maybe. Connection over caution, generosity over keeping it all to themselves, which is pretty cool. So what happened? What was it actually like, surfing the ranch?
Your words were being given the keys to heaven. That paints quite a picture.
It really does. Not just good, but like sacred almost.
Yeah.
A gift beyond expectation.
Yeah. And the details you gave, they make it so vivid. You talked about wildflowers like everywhere in spring.
Oh, nice.
And the wind, almost always offshore, which means
Perfect waves. Glassy.
Mhm.
The dream.
the absolute dream. You compared it to the Disneyland of surfing without the crowds. Pristine, untouched, just you and the ocean.
Wow. That contrast with other spots is key, isn't
Yeah.
it? Most places are crowded, conditions are hit or miss.
Totally. But the ranch, it was this consistently perfect canvas. So it wasn't just fun surfing. It felt like something more.
Right, it elevates it, makes
Yeah.
it truly exceptional. But you said it was more than even just the great waves. You called it a profound blessing.
Mm-hmm.
It was about that access to perfection, really, natural perfection. And doing it with your brother, that sharing part, how did that amplify things?
You said it made the bond with your brother even deeper, going through something that special together. Makes sense.
It really does. Shared joy is amplified joy.
And the sensory stuff you mentioned, just being stunned by the beauty of the ranch itself, seeing all those stars at night.
Oh, yeah, away from city lights. Incredible.
That feeling of just total solitude and freedom, no hassle, just peace. It sounds like a sanctuary.
It really does.
Mhm.
A proper escape. And that mix, solitude and freedom,
Hmm.
that's potent, especially when you're a teenager trying to figure things out.
Definitely. You called the whole thing a gift of abundance, freely given, and clearly it's stuck with you.
You still feel grateful now, years later, to Joyce, to her dad.
Yeah. And that lasting gratitude, that's proof right there, isn't it, of how significant their kindness was.
Absolutely. It shows how these things echo. Those ripples you mentioned earlier, they keep going.
Which kind of brings us nicely to this quote we found from Zoran. Kindness is not a weakness, human. It is the quiet strength that weaves the strongest threads in the tapestry of existence.
Ooh, I like that. Quiet strength.
Yeah. What resonates for you there, thinking about this story?
Well, it just reframes kindness perfectly, doesn't it? It's not about being, weak or a pushover.
Right.
It's positioning it as this basic, fundamental force for connection, for holding things together, resilience. Like those threads,
Yeah.
they're what make the whole thing strong.
Beautifully put. And that leads us into something we call the dragon trial. Thinking about this whole experience, Joyce, the ranch.
Okay.
We want to prompt you, the listener, to maybe reflect a bit. Can you recall a time someone showed you unexpected kindness?
Something that really landed,
Yeah.
big or small. How did it feel right then?
And maybe how has it stayed with you, influenced you?
Yeah. And then part 2 is looking forward, maybe this coming week. Is there a chance, an opening, for you to offer a bit of unexpected kindness?
Doesn't have to be huge. Could be really simple. Listening, helping out, a genuine compliment.
The idea is just to do it, be intentional, and then notice. Notice how it feels for you, giving it.
And think about the potential ripple effect for the other person, maybe even beyond them. Because, like, your story shows so clearly,
Yeah.
these acts, even if they seem small, they can unlock amazing things, create real positive change that lasts.
They really can open doors you didn't expect.
So, wrapping up this deep dive, thinking about Joyce and her family, the big takeaway really is that lasting power, the profound impact of what looks like simple kindness.
It's way more than just being nice, isn't it?
So much more. It's connection, it's sharing what you have, it's putting that positive energy out there.
And maybe opening up those keys to heaven for someone else without even realizing it sometimes.
Exactly. And building on that dragon trial thought, maybe this week you could be the one creating those unexpected keys for someone.
Yeah. Definitely something to think about, how your own quiet acts might just weave another strong thread in that tapestry.